is Joy Chelagat. Joy, what do you have for us today?
Today's a very interesting day. I think the first and most important conversation going on online is what's happening with the doctor strike. Kenyans are really hopeful that with the KMPDU case going on before the court today that they would find a solution. And a lot of the conversation was, first of all, really hopeful towards a proper solution, particularly now that the religious leaders were involved. But hearing that the thing had been pushed forward, I mean, even if you read the tweets, Kenyans are feeling like the country is not serious, the leaders are not serious, and they're wondering why are governors all the way in Naivasha having a conversation about devolution, yet one of the key tenets of what the devolution was supposed to bring to Kenyans, which is localized and affordable health care, is not working, and it's 93 days in. So there was a lot of questions about that, and questions of whether or not the leaders are serious on both sides, whether the doctors are serious about health care, because Kenyans at first, I think, had taken sides on the issue. It's gotten into a place where people are just exasperated and they just want a quick solution.
Right. What else can you tell us?
Another interesting story that's going on today is Snapchat. I'm sure the social media service had actually on the 2nd of March gone for its IPO. Now this was quite important because they were seeking to raise $3.4 billion. That's US dollars, and for a company which was founded by a 28-year-old, that is a lot of money to ask for. So this went up on the 2nd of March, and it was really, really good because the market share went up by a good 44%. Initially, they were starting off the price at $17, and the price shot all the way up to $24. However, at the beginning of the week, the market share dropped down to $21. What this means for the tech space is that all of a sudden the unicorns, you know, Snapchat was initially not seen as one of the giants such as Facebook and Twitter. This is an app that is largely focused between the 14 and 34-year-olds, and it's video-based. But it's an app that all of a sudden has, you know, blown up. It may not have had large numbers that Facebook has had, but in terms of engagement is really high. So I think this is really big for the tech space, and what it also means is that people are now taking what is called like a unicorn purchase. And this means that digital social media is becoming a serious key important factor in business. Lillian, are you on Snapchat?
I am on Snapchat, but I just find it way too technical, Joy. I'm just going to be honest. I love Instagram. Facebook, I think, is a bit old. But I think Snapchat is just... I don't get Snapchat. I don't know. I think I should come to you for a tutorial.
True, but you know the most interesting thing, so that you know that Snapchat is actually making an impact. Facebook is actually introducing a lot of Snapchat features.
Right.
I'm sure you noticed.
That.
Yes, the stories on Instagram went live, and even on WhatsApp it's going live. And so what's happening is Snapchat actually started, you know, shaking some of the key giants in the industry, keeping in mind that Facebook has been in this sector for quite a while and is one of the biggest players. So it's actually something that is actually changing the industry. Another key thing that Snapchat has done that has changed the industry, Snapchat was basically something that was based on videos and photos. And I'm sure you've seen over the last couple of years, the last almost 2 years, there's been such a huge uptake of video content, and Facebook is launching its Facebook Live. Launched its Facebook Live. They're launching all these kind of different videos, and even you know, on Snapchat you're able to do like a little video. Your profile can be a little video, and Facebook also did the same. So we're seeing that a lot of a lot of the innovations that Snapchat brought to the market are actually being adopted by some of the older players, which means that in as much as it's still a riskier purchase, it's actually making a lot of impact. And it's also showing that, as you said, Facebook is getting older, so people are moving to different ones, and they're realizing that millennials are getting older, so they're moving now to the next generation.
So tell us about the Facebook Wi-Fi and just how cheap this Wi-Fi is.
Exactly. So Facebook, through its company Internet.org, it's an organization that believes largely that the Internet and access to the Internet is a very important thing in terms of the growth of the economy, because they're saying that everything is now being connected, whether it's healthcare, whether it's information, key information, access to business. So Facebook launched Internet.org to try and basically increase accessibility to the internet and make it more affordable to people who are not connected. So that was the first phase of this, and I mean, Mark Zuckerberg talked a lot about this. But what has happened the most recent development is Facebook has switched on. It's something called Express Wi-Fi. Now, in addition to the free basics that it gave people, which was just 2 or 3 or 4 websites, you know, news sites and such, which were very basic, it's now even taking it a step further by offering extremely affordable Wi-Fi. For example, with $10 10 shillings, you can be able to get 40 MB of data. And while you're comparing this with Safaricom, with 50 shillings, you're getting 65 MB as a data bundle. For the same amount of money, with Airtel, you're able to get 40, and with Orange, 400 MB. What you're seeing is a person is able to get a very cheap, I mean, with 10 shillings, 40 MB, and most of us are on Safaricom, and we do 50 shillings for 65 MB per day. You see, it's actually quite affordable. And what they're doing is they're partnering with a company called Surf, which is a local internet provider, and then with Surf, they're able to have different Wi-Fi spots, and they're working with entrepreneurs. The main aim of this actually is to make it much cheaper and more affordable for entrepreneurs and people to connect to the internet and actually to run their business via the internet.
Right, sounds good. So what's your punchline?
Well, I think one of the things that people should look at today is we have a very interesting story. There's a 25-year-old woman all the way from Benin who has declared herself God, so I guess they have their own Jehovah Nuni now. And
why would she do that? What?
Well, she basically, she's a prophet, and I think we have a little bit of a clip, and the story is going to be on eDaily later today. And she basically, to thousands of people, declared herself God, and she believes that she is God. But I think Kenyans, with our Jehovah Nuni stories, we are used to this thing.
Yeah, we're used to this. But in Benin, what are people saying? How did people react to
I mean, with such people, there's always a cult following because they tend to be very charismatic. So there's a core group that is really very much, you know, believing in her and believing in what she's saying. But obviously, there are those who are also quite skeptical and wondering what kind of sway does she have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, very interesting, very interesting. Thanks for that, Joy. Well, the 10th annual Wife Carrying Championships took place this past Sunday in England. The race, which apparently comes from a Scandinavian tradition, where raiders need to be quick escaping with women folk from neighboring villages, featured scores of couples racing in damp conditions. Men generally carry their wives or partners on their shoulders as they race the 380-meter course race up steep gradients and across muddy fields. The pairs must also jump over obstacles and survive being splashed with water as they race to cross the finish line.
Top of that hill and you just spent, your heart's pumping, and yeah, it was much harder than I thought it was going to be.
Quite comical. I don't know about all the wives watching Citizen Extra right now, but for me, if my husband drops me, that's a deal breaker. You don't want to fall down. I mean, what kind of a man drops his wife? Anyway, thanks so much for watching Citizen Extra. My name is Lillian Muli. We continue with our Swahili updates of the news of the day. Stay with Citizen TV. Up next is Citizen Live at 1. Good afternoon.